This is my ACE Media Studies Creative Critical Reflection. My film. The Microwave Chef is about a young but talented chef named Guy. He cooks well, but his main piece of equipment he uses is a microwave, so he isn't taken seriously. The genre is comedy and satire. How does your product use or challenge conventions? I utilize camera shots to convey meaning. This shot used a long, shallow focal length, but then transitioned to a wide one. This was done to indicate a more goofy or silly tone. The medium shot was chosen because it was one of the best shots to show for the elements in the scene. This over-the-shoulder shot is used to show the connection of Guy to his friend. I used the rule of thirds in composition that shows Guy brushing his teeth in the upper right corner. He is facing away from the center, expressing how he is in his own little world and we are viewing him from a third-person perspective. Then the tiles fly in from the opposite side, attracting the audience's attention. As part of the mise en scene, the major props in the film is a microwave. This indicates that Guy can cook anything with it. This indicates that the genre is satire due to the fact that Guy is putting a metal pan in the microwave and exaggerating the capability of a microwave. Another part of mise en scene is the location and setting. In our film, the environment is very messy and disorganized. We can infer that it is disorganized because of his environment as he lives and operates in a messy environment. The location does not indicate the genre. You can read how disorganized the main character is. The character's costumes are very casual and we have little to no speciality. We did not have to use different kinds of costumes since the video is supposed to resemble a more of a real-life situation rather than a fictional type of story where actual costumes are needed and involved. We use naturalistic hair and makeup for realism purposes. Another part of mise en scene is lighting and color. A lighter, warmer color palette could dictate the tone of the film. For instance, my film has a warmer color palette to show a more positive tone. The lighting shows that the character emotions by physically showing it to the audience. Sound. Sound is very important because it adds to my film opener, as it adds a sense of realism to it. Most of the diegetic sound has been accomplished by Foley, as the microphone on my DSLR is not good enough quality, so the non-diegetic sound, which is supposed to be the soundtrack, was used to get rid of the silence of the film in the background and give it a more soft jazz sound to lighten the mood. The editing we did was very basic and simple. This was to give the video a more formal, simplistic effect rather than overuse of effect and transitions. However, we still had color correction, masking, and other simple transitions to make the video seem a lot more smooth rather than just raw cuts. The title and credits are used to display the meaning and key behind the people in film, who made it, and why it was made. In our film, it was called The Microwave Chef to describe what the show was about as a whole. It was supposed to be only Guy cooking the food and what made him very special. How does my film represent social groups and issues? We represent a younger audience living in the middle class environment. This tackles one simple issue and that's it. How does your film represent to an audience? Distribution, of course, of films. Most films are created for the intent of profit, whether it's monetary value or an artistic one. Thomas and I cooperated with each other in this film whilst producing this film, but Amazon Prime Video was the main distributor of it. Using convergent technologies and synergy, they help independent filmmakers reach Amazon's goal of global audiences across hundreds of devices with the same distribution options and delivery quality available to major motion pictures and television studios. Overall, with the production skills, I have learned the skills of screenwriting, storyboard, and the use of Adobe Premiere Pro. But most importantly, I have learned this important skill of storytelling. I've learned a lot about cinematography, Foley screenwriting, and shooting videos while I helped teach Thomas. I helped teach Thomas to use Premiere Pro so he could figure out how to create future films and projects since I already knew how to use it. The equipment we had, the technology and equipment we had obviously played a big role in our film. To film, Thomas used his DSLR camera and used his phone as an audio recorder for the audio. Many of the things we were able to do in the shots weren't possible with just a simple phone camera. Things like focus, telephoto, zooming, etc. You cannot really cut or edit footage without another device, so Thomas used the computer the school has provided for us, and we were able to edit the camera footage through using Premiere Pro. We were able to use this technology to create a well-edited video and film for our class. Software used, of course, the software that we used was to help produce the film and is very necessary. I use many of Google's programs like Google Slides, Docs, and Sheets, etc., and I also use Premiere Pro to edit this. Without the Google Workspace, I wouldn't have been able to plan anything. Premiere Pro also was a very great help. With its complexity, gave many options when it came to editing and realizing what we could do with the film. Specifically, the masking tool helped a ton. Thomas added a layer of depth to the film. Also, other Premiere programs in Premiere like Lumetri Color helped us change and realize the full tone of the film, as the color correction options really let us adjust the clips to what we liked. Overall, I had an absolute great time with all the options and capabilities that Premiere Pro offers. Online websites. Finally, the online websites that I used helped. Obviously, the internet helped in my research, but EduBlogs helped me when it came to documenting my process by giving me a good perspective on what platform and what to document on. That's all for my reflection. Thank you for listening.